Hello, inner explorer. I am not here to preach or to dictate. I'm here as a fellow traveler on this winding, sometimes perplexing, yet always extraordinary journey of life. I've spent decades delving into the depths of human experience, studying the threads of philosophy, the power of personal growth, and the ancient wisdom that whispers through our souls. And in all that time, I've learned one truth with unshakable certainty. The path to true fulfillment begins with a deep, unflinching look within. If you're here, it's likely because you, too, feel that quiet tug, a whisper urging you toward a more authentic existence. Perhaps you found yourself giving some more, often to the detriment of your own well-being. Maybe you're at a point in your life, that middle season or beyond, where you're starting to question the old ways, the old patterns of putting others first. Perhaps you feel a dissonance, a subtle disharmony between the life you're living and the one your heart truly desires. This video isn't just another fleeting piece of content. It's a deep dive, a journey we will take together. I invite you to settle in, to breathe deeply, and to open yourself to a new perspective, one that doesn't ask you to become selfish, but rather to become gloriously, authentically, and powerfully you. Watch this video until the very end, because by its conclusion, you'll not only have a new understanding, you'll have a roadmap towards a life lived with intention, strength, and joy. Are you ready to begin this journey of self-discovery? The trap of self-sacrifice. We often wear the act of self-sacrifice like a badge of honor. We've been taught that it's virtuous to put others before ourselves, that true worth is found in endless giving. We are told implicitly or explicitly that our worth is measured by how much we can do for others. Think back to your childhood. Did you hear phrases like, be a good boy/girl and share? Or maybe you were encouraged to give up your needs so that another could be happy. This programming, ingrained early, often carries into adulthood, where we find ourselves caught in a cycle of constant giving, leading to burnout, resentment, and a deep sense of emptiness. Let's be clear. There is a vast difference between genuine generosity and self-sacrifice. Generosity springs from a full heart, an overflow of abundance. It's giving from a place of strength, not from a place of depletion. Self-sacrifice, on the other hand, stems from a belief that we aren't worthy of our own attention, our own care. It's rooted in a scarcity mindset that there isn't enough of our energy, resources, or love to go around. So, we compromise our own needs and desires, hoping to earn some kind of external validation. But this is a dangerous game, one that leads down a path of exhaustion and dissatisfaction. What happens when you continually prioritize the needs and whims of others? You train them to believe that your needs are unimportant. You teach them that your boundaries are flexible, that your no might eventually turn into a yes. And while some people may be kind and appreciative of this, others will quickly learn how to take advantage. You may find yourself surrounded by people who drain your energy and leave you feeling used. You may find yourself being treated as an optional extra rather than an essential person. I've seen countless individuals, particularly during their middle years and beyond, struggle with the consequences of this pattern. They reach a point where they look around and realize that they've lived their lives according to the needs and expectations of others. They've poured so much into everyone else that their own well has run dry. The dreams they once held have withered, their passions have faded, and they find themselves asking, who am I outside of what I do for others? This is a pivotal question, a critical turning point. And it's okay if you're asking that question. It means you are ready to change. We aren't designed to be martyrs. We are meant to live vibrant, fulfilling lives. This isn't an argument for selfishness, but rather a call to self-respect. It's not about neglecting others, but recognizing that we cannot pour from an empty cup. Think about that phrase. How can you nurture or assist others if you are not thriving yourself? How can you be a strong leader in your community, a caring parent to your family, if you are running on empty and filled with resentment? So, how do we break free from the trap of self-sacrifice? We start by acknowledging its existence, by admitting that we've been playing a role that isn't serving us. This is where the true work begins, the deep reflective work. Consider for a moment the times you've prioritized others to your own detriment. Ask yourself why you made those choices. Were you seeking approval, trying to avoid conflict, or simply acting out of habit? The answers to these questions can be incredibly powerful, paving the way for change. The myth of being nice. One of the most insidious lies we tell ourselves is that constantly putting others first is being nice. We equate pleasing others with being a good person. It's as if we've been conditioned to believe that our value lies in our ability to be agreeable, to accommodate, and to never rock the boat. This mentality is incredibly limiting and stifles our authentic expression, our true growth. Being nice doesn't equal being kind, and we need to start making that distinction. Kindness comes from a place of genuine care. It is considerate and respectful. It is not a constant appeasement, and not at the expense of your own well-being. When you are always saying yes, when you are constantly sacrificing your own needs, you are not being kind to yourself. You are actually perpetuating a pattern of self-neglect. And often, this need to be nice stems from a fear of rejection, a fear that if we say no, we will be abandoned or unloved. But here's a truth that may sting a bit. If someone cannot respect your boundaries, their love or approval is not something you should strive for in the first place. Think about that for a moment. If someone only values you when you are doing what they want you to do, that is not genuine connection. This can be hard to accept, especially with family or friends. We may feel obligated to say yes because of our relationship or history with someone. However, those are the moments we need to be most courageous and define our boundaries. Saying no is not being unkind. It's being truthful. It's being respectful of your own limits. It's being courageous and choosing your own path. Here's the thing. True kindness starts with yourself. When you are kind to yourself, when you honor your own needs and your own boundaries, you are better equipped to offer genuine kindness to others. You are giving from a place of abundance rather than depletion. You are giving out of choice rather than obligation. And when your kindness comes from a place of genuine love and strength, it will be received with appreciation rather than entitlement. It's crucial to understand that our self-care has an immediate impact on the quality of care that we provide for others. Let me share a personal story with you. Years ago, I was running myself ragged, trying to please everyone. I was the go-to person for everything, always available, always accommodating. I believed this was what it meant to be a good friend, a good family member, a good colleague. And I started to feel it. I was constantly exhausted. I was starting to feel resentment. I wasn't sleeping properly, and my health started to suffer. One day, a very close friend of mine asked me to help her with a project, something that would take up most of my weekend. I had already planned to take some time for myself, but the thought of saying no sent shivers of guilt through my spine. But something was different this time. For the first time, I paused, took a deep breath, and said, "I'm sorry, I can't this time. I need to take some time for myself." I was scared, fearing her reaction. To my surprise, she was understanding and even commended me for putting myself first. This small act of setting a boundary was incredibly liberating. It was a turning point for me. It was the moment I realized that true connection doesn't mean abandoning myself. It means being honest about my needs and honoring my own limits. I also saw that real friendships support boundaries. That, in fact, boundaries are a sign of respect for self and others. From that moment on, I began practicing what I now refer to as compassionate self-assertion. It means saying no without guilt. It means expressing my needs with clarity and confidence. And it means choosing how I spend my time and energy. It means being assertive and understanding that sometimes that will be uncomfortable. And not for me, because I'm owning who I am, but for the other person. It's about honoring my inner compass and living a life aligned with my values. And this isn't a sign of being selfish, it's a sign of self-respect. It wasn't always easy, and there were times when people were taken aback or even disappointed by my newfound assertiveness. But I learned that those reactions were more about them than about me. I also began to realize that those who respected my boundaries were the true friends, the ones who valued me for who I am, not for what I could do for them. And these are the relationships we need to nurture. So, I had to choose my path, and I began to let go of some relationships that weren't serving my best interests. So, ask yourself, are you people-pleasing out of genuine kindness or out of a fear of rejection? Are you sacrificing your needs in the name of being nice, or are you honoring your own boundaries? The answers to these questions will pave the way to truly authentic living. It's crucial to understand that true kindness is a powerful act of self-respect and love, and therefore will be a true expression of love for others, since it is given from a full cup. The importance of personal boundaries. Setting clear and healthy boundaries is paramount to living a fulfilling life. Boundaries are not walls that separate us from others. Rather, they are lines we draw around ourselves that define what is acceptable and what is not. They are a way of communicating our needs, values, and limits to others. Without clear boundaries, we become easy targets for manipulation. We compromise our integrity, and we lose our sense of self. Boundaries are a way of saying, this is who I am, this is what I need, and this is what I will and will not tolerate. Think of boundaries as the guardrails on a road. They keep us safe and ensure that we stay on our intended path. Without them, we risk careening off course, being led astray, and ultimately getting lost. Personal boundaries help you protect your time, energy, emotional well-being, and your overall sense of self. They help you create healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. Boundaries are not selfish. They are an act of self-preservation. Now, let's address the fear that many of us have about setting boundaries. We often worry that if we say no, we will be perceived as unloving, difficult, or selfish. We may fear losing the approval of others, or even the relationship itself. But here's the truth. People who truly care about you will respect your boundaries. They may not always like them, but they will understand and respect them. And it is their ability to respect them that determines the health of that relationship. The individuals who react negatively to your boundaries are, in fact, signaling that they are not prioritizing your well-being. They are showing that they prefer you to be a yes person, someone who is always available and accommodating. And these relationships, as uncomfortable as this may be, may need to be reevaluated or even let go of. But first, we must understand that setting boundaries isn't about manipulating others. It is about self-respect and self-preservation. It is about taking care of your needs and therefore be able to nurture and care for others from a place of strength. So how do you begin setting boundaries? First, start by identifying your own needs and limits. What are the things that drain your energy? What behaviors are you no longer willing to tolerate? What commitments are no longer serving you? Reflect on these questions, journal about them, talk to someone about it, and become clear about what you need in order to thrive. This is a crucial step, because if you don't know what your needs are, you will not be able to set boundaries around them. Next, communicate your boundaries clearly and assertively. Avoid vague statements or beating around the bush. Be direct and honest, but do so with kindness and respect. For example, instead of saying, "I'm not sure if I can," you could say, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I won't be available." Or, "I'd love to help, but I already have plans, and I will not be doing that." The last sentence is important because it makes the statement about you and not about the other person. Practice saying these things to yourself out loud. It is equally important to stay consistent with your boundaries. Avoid making exceptions or giving in to guilt trips. When you are inconsistent, you weaken your boundaries and show others that they are flexible. And that's a slippery slope to cross. Remember, you are teaching people how to treat you. If you repeatedly give in, they will learn that you will eventually cave, and therefore, they will continue to push your boundaries. But if you show that you value yourself by standing firm, others will learn to respect your boundaries as well. There will inevitably be moments when your boundaries are tested. People who are used to having you be a yes person will likely push back. They may try to guilt you, manipulate you, or even get angry. It's important to stand firm. Remember that other people's reactions are a reflection of their inner workings and not of your worth. It's not your responsibility to manage their emotional responses. What matters is that you are honoring your needs. It's okay if this feels uncomfortable. Setting boundaries takes practice, patience, and self-compassion. There will be times when you falter, when you say yes, when you meant to say no. But each time you assert yourself, even in a small way, you are strengthening your sense of self. Don't give up and be forgiving to yourself as you learn this new way of being. Think of each step as a step towards a stronger you. Let's make it practical, especially if you're navigating work, family, and personal life during midlife and beyond. At work, this might mean setting clear limits on your workload or your availability. With family, it could involve setting expectations around your time or energy and choosing your battles wisely. And with your personal time, it could mean saying no to social events that don't truly fill you up and choosing instead to engage in activities that nourish your soul. Boundaries aren't meant to be walls. They are gates, allowing the right things to come in while keeping the wrong things out. Reframing selfishness. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the fear of being labeled selfish. This label, often hurled at individuals who dare to prioritize themselves, is a powerful tool used to control and manipulate. It's time we dismantle the negative connotations associated with this word and see it for what it truly is, a necessary act of self-preservation. The pursuit of your own goals and happiness isn't selfish. It's essential. You must be a champion of your needs, dreams, goals, and passions. You are the main character of your life, and therefore you must treat it as such. Selfishness, in its true form, is about exploiting others, disregarding their needs and feelings, and prioritizing oneself at the expense of others. It's about taking without giving, demanding without earning, and disregarding the feelings of others. This is not what we are advocating for. We are talking about a healthy and necessary self-interest. A self-interest that allows you to be the best version of yourself. This approach is not about exploitation. It is about self-love and self-respect. It is about honoring your unique path in life. When you put yourself first, you're not neglecting others. You're actually becoming better equipped to serve them from a place of strength, abundance, and genuine care. When you are thriving, you have more to offer. Your energy is higher, your emotions are more balanced, and your capacity for empathy is greater. Think of it as a ripple effect. When you take care of yourself, you create a positive impact on everyone around you. This is especially crucial in middle age and beyond. As we navigate the complexities of life, it's easy to fall into patterns of self-neglect, where we prioritize the needs of our children, our partners, our parents, our work, and often feel that there is little energy left for ourselves. This is a common thread in middle age, and that's when feelings of exhaustion, resentment, and burnout are likely to appear. This is not a sustainable pattern, and something has to change. Prioritizing yourself at this stage of life isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. It's about reclaiming your power, rediscovering your passions, and living a life of purpose. It's about becoming a role model for the people around you, and about showing them how it is to truly love yourself. It's about showing your children, partner, friends, and everyone else how to live a full life. Let's go back to the analogy of the airplane oxygen masks. Flight attendants always instruct you to put on your own mask before assisting others. Why? Because you cannot help anyone if you are gasping for air. This is a powerful metaphor for life. You must take care of your needs first if you want to be in a position to take care of others. This is not selfishness. This is wisdom. This is self-preservation. So, how do we reframe the notion of selfishness? First, by understanding the context. Are you sacrificing your well-being for the sake of others and then feeling resentment? Or are you honoring your needs so that you can give from a place of abundance? Are you helping others from a place of strength or a place of weakness? The answer will make all the difference. The answer will set you free. Next, surround yourself with people who understand the importance of self-care. If you are being labeled as selfish for taking care of your needs, you may need to evaluate those relationships. True friends and family members will respect your boundaries and encourage you to prioritize your well-being. And finally, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and understand that this is a journey of self-discovery and self-improvement. Here's a truth I've learned through my years of research and experience. The most loving thing you can do for yourself and for others is to become the best version of yourself. When you are living a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment, you are not only serving yourself, but you are also inspiring and uplifting everyone around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Fill your cup first, not from a place of selfishness, but from a place of self-love and self-respect. So I invite you to reconsider what you've been taught about selfishness, about giving, about being nice, and to create a new definition for yourself. Embrace the concept of self-care as a form of self-love, and understand that your journey, your path, your needs and passions are as important as anyone else's. You are unique, you are valuable, and you are worthy of your own love and respect. You deserve to thrive. You deserve to feel fulfilled. You deserve to experience joy. And you deserve to become the person you are meant to be. Practical steps to prioritize yourself. Let's move from understanding to action. Here are some practical steps you can begin implementing today to prioritize yourself and live a more empowered life. First, start with the basics. Nurture your physical well-being. Prioritize healthy eating, regular exercise, and sufficient sleep. These are the foundational elements of a healthy body and mind. You cannot be your best self if your body is not nourished and cared for. Next, establish a daily self-care routine. This doesn't have to be elaborate or time-consuming. It could be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning for quiet reflection, reading an inspiring book, going for a walk in nature, or practicing some form of meditation or mindfulness. The key is to choose activities that fill your cup and help you connect with your inner self. These are your moments. These are your moments to reset, to energize, and to tune in to your inner guidance. Create a system for setting boundaries. Start with the things that drain your energy. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. Practice assertive communication. When you are asked to do something you don't want to do, pause, take a breath. And remember, you do not need a reason. You can say, "I will not be doing that." And do not feel the need to justify or apologize for your needs. Schedule time for the things you love. What are your passions, your hobbies, your interests? Are you devoting time to them? If not, this is the time. It's easy to postpone these activities because they may not feel as important as other things. However, it's through our passions and hobbies that we reconnect with the joy of being alive. Don't wait for the right time. Start making time for them today. These are the things that make your soul feel alive. These are not optional, they are a requirement. Practice forgiveness, especially towards yourself. We all make mistakes. We all fall short of our intentions from time to time. When you do, be kind to yourself, learn from it, and move forward with compassion. Remember that perfection is not the goal, growth is. And growth requires us to make mistakes along the way. Be gentle and loving with yourself through this process. Seek out support. You don't have to do this alone. Connect with like-minded individuals who understand your journey. Seek guidance from mentors, coaches, or therapists who can provide valuable insights and support. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Asking for help shows courage and maturity. It shows that you understand the importance of getting outside support when necessary. This is not weakness, this is strength. Reconnect with your authentic self. Take time to reflect on your values, your beliefs, your aspirations. What truly matters to you? What makes you feel alive? What are your passions? What is your soul calling for? Write down your desires, goals, and passions, and make time for them in your life. This is about creating a life that is aligned with who you truly are. Your life should be a true reflection of who you want to become. Learn to tune out external noise. We live in a world that is constantly bombarding us with information, opinions, and expectations. It's important to learn to filter out the noise and connect with your inner voice. Practice mindfulness, spend time in nature, and engage in activities that help you quiet the mind. You are your best compass. Trust your inner voice. Be patient and persistent. Change takes time. Be kind to yourself as you learn to create new patterns and habits. Celebrate the small victories along the way, and don't be discouraged by the setbacks. Remember that the journey of self-discovery is a lifelong pursuit, and that every step you take towards honoring yourself is a step towards living a more authentic and fulfilling life. Finally, remember that prioritizing yourself is not an act of selfishness. It's an act of self-love and self-preservation. When you are taking care of your needs, when you are honoring your boundaries, when you are pursuing your passions, you are living in alignment with your truest self. And you cannot give to others what you do not have yourself. Therefore, nurturing your own well-being is not just good for you. It's also good for everyone else around you.